Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. You're watching World War Live. I'm your host, Conrad Franz, here, 7:50 p.m. Central Time, Tuesday evening, February 3rd, 2026. It is good to see everybody here. It is good to see so many beautiful Goyim. I would even say it's an abundance of Goyim in my chat, and it is great to see. We got Rasputin Archive, Father James, Stephen Sterling, E-War Mapping, Oscar, lots of great people in the chat. Great to see everybody. Of course, have to remind everyone, if you want me to answer any questions or talk about any specific pieces of lore, e-drama, whatever it is you want me to yap about here tonight on the stream, send in a super chat and I will happily read it. Or you can compliment me and I'll read it for free. Fire mustache, bro. Thank you. Had to get rid of the beard. It was getting too annoying and itchy and I thought it looked dumb on the stream. So instead, we're going with mustaches because that is, despite my blonde facial hair, apparently that's what's in these days. So we grew a mustache, but it's good to see everybody. Want to, of course, remind everybody that if you have not already become a World War Now supporter at the World War Now Substack, right here. That's right, worldwarnow.co. If you see it here, you can get behind the paywall. Of course, the latest episode of World War Now, rave reviews from critics. I mean, 50 that actually has way more, but I don't want to refresh the page, because if I refresh the page, then the stream will show up on the Substack, because you can also watch the stream on Substack. So I want to thank everybody who's watching on Twitter, on Substack, and of course on YouTube. And again, if you're on YouTube and you want to send in a super chat, feel free to do so, but go to worldwarnow.co, get behind the paywall. Of course, you get all these episodes for free, massive, almost 2.5-hour World War Now episode, really breaking down everything you need to know as the US and Israel prepare to strike Iran. We're going to be talking a little bit about that this evening, so giving some updates to this stream, but you'll be missing a lot of context if you don't go back and watch episode 149. But if you get behind the paywall, you can also watch the full slideshow show right here. You can see from, let me mute it, with George McMillan, our good buddy. We go through a whole bunch of maps, a whole bunch of information. As you can see, again, rare Ether Hour video episode. And this section, as you can see, is well behind the paywall. So if you want to see all of this, get behind the paywall at worldwarnow.co. It's linked down below, obviously, wherever you may find this. So thank you again for supporting. And there is a new way to support World War Now. That's right. You can go to the World War Now, buy me a coffee. Of course, Jonathan Kelly, he's super chatting right now in the chat. He's on the screen right now. We can't thank him enough for all of his support. But if you go to the Buy Me a Coffee link, which is linked down in the description below, I'm also going to drop it in the chat, buymeacoffee.com/World War Now. You can support us directly if you're already a paid subscriber and want to donate more to keep the lights on here at the proverbial World War Now bunker. Please consider doing so and donating to us. Obviously, any levels of donations are appreciated, even just a few dollars. So thank you so much. We don't make, again, we're largely shadow banned on YouTube, so it's not like we could ever rely on ad revenue on here to do this. So it's exclusively your super chats, your donations through here, and of course, subscribing at worldwarnow.co, as I just described. So thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed the new intro music. A friend of mine made that. I linked it in the live chat. So if you enjoyed that, please check it out. But with all of that being said, time to dive right into the news here. But we have $5 from Paisios of EO. Anything on the debate between Rasputin Archive and Michael Davis? I want it to happen so bad. Look, well, someone's going to have to reach out to Michael Davis. And I mean, he follows me on Twitter, and I guess I could DM him, but he knows that he knows my opinion on Rasputin. He knows I'm in favor of Rasputin Archive, of Alex's position, and of the veneration of Rasputin. So I doubt he's going to consider me a neutral moderator, but maybe we can get somebody else to moderate, or I can moderate, and then he can propose a moderator so we can have two moderators from both sides. But, we'll see. I highly doubt he would do it, considering he didn't even address the response article with another article, but who knows? Anything could happen, right? Another $5 from Jonathan Kelly. Weekly reminder, just say no to Zog. And that's true. When the weather warms up a little bit, maybe I'll wear my Just Say No to Zog shirt on the stream in memory of Randy Weaver, Patriot. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Any more super chats, like I said, throughout the stream, I will read those. But with all of that being said, we're going to talk a little bit, of course, from the title, Goyim in abundance. Of course, that's all the streams here, are an abundance of faithful Christian Goyim. But we're going to talk a little bit about the Epstein stuff. But before that, obviously, a little, I wouldn't say a minor story, but with our part one of this episode, we're going to be talking about what's going on in Iran. Obviously, in the big update today, going to be sharing an anti-war tab here, is that the U.S. Says it shot down an Iranian drone in the Arabian Sea. This has obviously been confirmed today. The U.S. military shot down an Iranian drone in the Arabian Sea on Tuesday, according to U.S. Central Command, as the U.S. is building up its forces in the region to prepare for a potential attack on Iran. Tim Hawkins, a spokesman for CENTCOM, claimed the drone was aggressively approaching the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln, which he said was operating about 500 miles south of Iran's coast at the time. He said that an F-35 fighter jet from the Abraham Lincoln took down the drone. No American service members were harmed during the incident, and no U.S. equipment was damaged, Hawkins said, according to CNN. The U.S. military also claimed that later in the day, 2 Iranian naval vessels approached and harassed a U.S.-flagged chemical tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. Hawkins said Iranians Excuse me. Hawkins said Iranians threatened to board the tanker, and that it was then escorted by a U.S. Navy destroyer, and the situation de-escalated. The incidents near Iran come as President Trump has been threatening to bomb Iran for weeks. The president has been shifting the pretext for a potential attack on the country, threatening it over its ballistic missile program, protests in the country, and warning that he will attack if some sort of nuclear deal isn't reached. We have ships heading to Iran right now, big ones, the biggest and the best. And we have talks going on with Iran. We'll see how it all works out, Trump told reporters on Monday. But right now, we're talking to them. We're talking to Iran. And if we could work something out, that'd be great. And if we can't, probably bad things will happen. Gotta love quoting Trump. You never know when the rambling sentence is going to come to an end. Iranian officials have said they're open to a nuclear deal, but the U.S. is also demanding limits on Iran's missile program, which is a non-starter for Tehran. According to media reports, U.S. and Iranian officials may meet in Istanbul on Friday, though the potential talks remain unconfirmed. And of course, the details surrounding this, they go into more detail, but the situation with Israel and Iran right now, they are attempting to have negotiations. The rumor was there was going to be negotiations in Istanbul with the U.S., Tehran, Turkey, and then like Saudi Arabia and Qatar also present. And we've been getting conflicting reports from Tehran, from Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Saudi Arabia publicly saying, like, we don't support any attacks on Iran. Same with Turkey, of course. But then reports emerged that behind the scenes, Saudi Arabia was telling the U.S. that they need to strike Iran hard to actually collapse the regime if they want to do anything like that. So interesting developments. But now, and this is from RN on Telegram, rather an Iranian diplomatic source told this to Al Jazeera, says it is likely that Muscat, which is in Oman, will be the next place of talks with Washington, not Turkey. We thank the countries of the region for their efforts to find a solution to the dispute between Tehran and Washington and reduce tension. And of course, Israel has been desperately lobbying the United States and all of the relevant parties to this potential strike on Iran that they want them to strike. And again, they're saying that anything short of the complete collapse and halt of Iran's ballistic missile program will mean that Israel will strike Iran. Now, because I think the Israelis think the U.S. has softened, they've cooled down on their desire to strike Iran. The Israelis are now asking for a green light to do their own operation. And look, it's all the same thing, because we know if Israel strikes Iran, Iran's going to fire back crazy style, and then the United States will have to, goodness, my monitor's bouncing around everywhere. And then the United States will have to defend Israel and likely just go to full-scale war with Iran anyway, because Iran has said that any attacks on them in this regard and any attempts to cross their red lines and destroy the ballistic missile program or obviously decapitate the regime are going to be met with a regional war, as they have described. So that's what we are currently working with. I can check, of course, the current Telegram reports, just more stuff about Cuba and Venezuela that we don't really want to talk about. Thank you. People are complimenting the mustache. I need to work out to lose the double chin here. Got to stay more in the gym, but it's I appreciate it. It's looking all right. It's more visible than it has been in the past, so I appreciate it. But thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Obviously, be sure to check out my previous stream, last week's stream. I should probably share this on the screen as well with not your usual World War Live, obviously. We go into a lot of details about Turkey and the prophecies and the conflict and everything going on today. So check this one out. It's one of my favorite streams we've done recently. And of course, we play some duo ethno guesser. We both lock in and get a pretty good score. So check that one out with David. Very, very good show. Want to do more collaborations with on World War Live, get more people on the live stream. So if anyone thinks of any good guests we could have on, be sure to let me know. But I should be going on Cleave to Antiquity in a few weeks, less than 2 weeks, I think. So stay tuned for that. I'm very excited for that stream, obviously. And again, if things pop off with Iran, we're going to be going live like we have in the past when things pop off like that. So stay tuned to all of the relevant socials. But unless anything else breaks on Iran while we are recording here, there have been a lot of, obviously, the info war and these reports that we get about where the negotiations and what red line and who's pressuring who. These are all part of the war, the PSYOP. Like, for example, we have this recent report from almost 5 p.m. from the War Reporter. It says IDF Chief of Staff Eyal Zamir, during the meeting with U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, said that any strike against Israel would be met with an immediate and unusually powerful response, including strikes against unexpected targets. Like, what does that mean? Obviously, after the Iranian drone was shot down near the USS Abraham Lincoln, another one was immediately dispatched. So the Iranians, the deal, of course, recently was that the U.S. would pull the Abraham Lincoln out of the Persian Gulf and then that, or even farther away from the coast of Oman, and the Arabian Sea and these other places, all while Iran postpones its massive naval drills in the Persian Gulf that would have, in theory, disrupted worldwide shipping. So that was sort of a sign of goodwill from both sides to create the conditions necessary for negotiations. But this drone was shot down. Iran dispatched the drone anyway, so it seems that the tensions are still very high. So the idea that I still don't necessarily believe that things will de-escalate, and if they do, it will once again be another time-buying measure for the U.S. and Iran and Israel to prepare to strike Iran in a way that will actually destabilize the regime. But ultimately, at a certain level, I mean, the protests probably never really got to this level to begin with, but they completely missed the boat on supporting the protests and having those be a mechanism towards a popular overthrow, or a perceived popular overthrow of the Islamic Republic. So, yes, we are. Do you have any mods in the chat? Okay, Paisios is at least in the chat moderating. Not that there's any riffraff going on right now, but you have to be sure. Of course, I want to remind everybody to get behind the paywall. You also get access to our premium chats in the Discord channel, the Discord server. So be sure to check all of that out. I usually leak who the Ether Hour guests are when we're interviewing them. And I guess I can sort of tease. We will be having Matthew Raphael Johnson on for this week's episode of Ether Hour. So please get behind the paywall if you want to hear the full discussion with him, because a lot of it won't be publicly available, obviously. So be sure to check that out. It's a fantastic conversation. I'm probably going to be having him on for future Ether Hour episodes as well. So stay tuned for that. If you are into orthodoxy and nationalism, and if you watch that content, it's going to be a conversation for you. So get behind the paywall, support us, so that we can keep having people like Dr. Johnson on the show and interviewing him and researching and asking questions. But for this Epstein stuff, honestly, look, I'm no expert. Jay's been going over this stuff more than I have. All sorts of people on Twitter are talking about it. I'm going to just go through my Twitter timeline and read some of the most interesting pieces. There's one in particular that I find by far the funniest. Of course, the Goyim in abundance one is great. With they're talking about the parties, and someone was asking Epstein if there's only going to be only Jews at the party. And he's like, no, Goyim in abundance, but they're the smart Goyim. So this is just great stuff. But I'll share the screen here. On the Twitter timeline, good old timeline. Here's an interesting one. Ghislaine Maxwell had Talmud classes on Thursdays. Said, do you have any interesting plans? This is to Ghislaine Maxwell, or to someone redacted from Ghislaine Maxwell. Do you have any interesting plans for the near future? I have Bible class on Wednesday, Talmud class on Thursday, inner reflection on Friday, understanding Muslims on Saturday, weeding the next door pensioner's garden on Sunday, and anything exciting. Do you anything exciting? Which interesting schedule there. I don't know if there's any hidden code in there. This was a fascinating one. Of course, RT was tweeting it, the email saying, this is from the Lord Rothschild. Miss our talks. Will you be free? Let's discuss Ukraine. Epstein, Ukraine upheaval should provide many opportunities, many. This was immediately after the Maidan coup, not too long, I believe a month afterwards. So Epstein and the Rothschilds and world Jewry were very much involved in overthrowing the quote-unquote pro-Russian regime in Ukraine. Here's a great one. It says, Jeffrey Epstein called Madonna cattle after seeing her on the Jew Larry King show, where she discussed Kabbalah and took K-word spirituality lessons from some rabbi hucksters, expressing disdain with celebrities hopping on the Jew identity bandwagon without actually converting. It has been extensively documented that Madonna got into Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism, and introduced people like Britney Spears to the movement. So Epstein, the one thing you really learned from this is that he was a Jewish supremacist on top of, being somebody that pimped out underage teenage girls for powerful people to sleep with and then use that as blackmail against them. Here's one. This is to Roger Schenck from Jeffrey Epstein from 23rd of October, 2009. He says, this is the way the Jew makes money and made a fortune in the past 10 years. Selling short the shipping futures. Let the Goyim deal in the real world. From shipping news, the most dramatic growth has been in shipping futures. So he's talking all about stock markets, shorts, and futures, and this, usurious stock market, and how Jews have used it and used making money on money to to continue to enrich themselves. We have $5 more from Jonathan Kelly. He says hashtag Talmud Tuesdays. This indeed is, unfortunately, it just seemed like a Talmud Tuesday. That's but it is Ghislaine had Talmud Thursdays, but Talmud Tuesdays does sound a lot better. But then you interfere with Taco Tuesday. So what are you going to do? Here was some commentary from me. This was from Ehud Barak to Jeffrey Epstein. Said, "What's a terrible mistake of Pharaoh to let my people go? The Jewish people is flourishing everywhere as never before. Where is Egypt now?" And I said, "They're still bitching about Egypt. You think they'll let us Goyim hear the end of the Tsarist pogroms or the Halabunga? Please." So, yeah, I mean, look, these people are still complaining about the time they had to build some pyramids in Egypt. You think they're going to let us forget about things their grandparents told them they remembered? That stuff goes deep, man. They scare the kids with this stuff. They scare the kids about you. These people tell their kids that that you're a danger. You know the talk? It's like black people say that they have to sit their kids down and have the talk about police brutality, and then white people responded and said, well, we have to have the talk with our kids about black people. It's like Jews have the talk with their kids about the Goyim. And as much as, I am proud Gentile Christian, looking at some people, looking at some people on the timeline and looking at some of the non-Jews around the world, that's sometimes you have to sympathize with them, because truly you look at, I mean, look, I don't want to talk about the e-drama that's going on right now. Maybe if some people send some super chats, I'll probably shill it in a second on the timeline. But truly, the Goyim have gone insane. Trad cats cheating on their fiancés with bosses and all this other stuff. And I know that I'm ostensibly involved with these people, but it is what it is. $5 from Steven Sterling. He says, I don't understand how all this is revealed and people just go back to everyday life. What's worse is knowing there will be no justice. Well, there's no real smoking guns besides some of these emails where it seems to be confessions to crimes, and then they've redacted the names of those people. So in theory, those people need to be investigated. But as far as actual criminal prosecution, unfortunately, unless there's more stuff, a lot of this is circumstantial evidence that can't be it can't necessarily be brought forward in court that way. I mean, the main thing that this is something that in theory the mainstream media won't talk about is because it confirms how Jews speak about us in private. Jews have open contempt for non-Jews. They casually, I find it hilarious that in the past 3 months, us on the right wing and in these spheres have been using the Goyim, press the Goyim extinction button. The Goyim have gone insane. Goy cattle, true Goyim. I mean, I've been using these jokes forever. Whenever my friends say something that I find disagreeable, I just start immediately calling them Goy cattle. But what's funny is our slang lingo is just how Jews and the people that secretly run the world have been talking to each other behind the scenes the whole time, which was sort of the joke. The joke was that, the original joke was, you remember back in 2015, 2016, the rise of the alt-right, it was like, ooh, oy vey, Goyim, the Goyim, no, oh, shut it down. And, you still hear that from like new fags and everything, but now it just became unironically like, look, hip hop, even though a lot of the stuff is just like the stuff that the Goyim enjoy, going to Walmart in their pajamas, the Goy slop, all these sorts of things. And you start to realize like the Goyim have gone insane. And when you see, some of the things in the Christian world and other things, you realize, yeah, sometimes the Goyim have gone insane. But at the same time, the Jews can't complain because they manipulated society to make the Goyim that way. So really only the ascendant Goyim, like those who watch this program, obviously, are going to be able to really going to be able to appreciate the Goyim meme, in my opinion. But let's get back to the content. Here we go. Epstein was asked about tax benefits in a new bill, and I believe this was from Larry Summers. He asked about any tax benefits, and Epstein replied, I don't know of any. They did a great job of closing most regarding loopholes, at least for the Goyim. So sometimes, the Goyim, you've heard that Jews can be immune from income taxes with some of this rabbi stuff. People have cast aspersions on that. But Jeffrey Epstein seems to be implying that Jewish loopholes to income tax very much exist. So that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Now, these were some interesting ones, a little bit less scandalous and headline grabbing, but I've seen this several times. The quote, of course, 90% of the payments to Greece actually go to the German and French banks who made risky investments and want to be paid off. So, in effect, the Greeks are paying the northern banks for debts that the people never incurred. So, the Greek debt financial crisis was entirely manufactured by the EU to bail out French and German banks, and the destruction of the Greek economy and the contributions that made to Greek demographic collapse are right here. So, the fact that this isn't leading, the fact that the Greeks aren't immediately lobbying to leave the European Union and are taking to the streets about this, I mean, that says all there is to know about the situation in Greece, the situation in these EU countries, and how this kind of debt slavery can just beat you down. So, if you know anyone in Greece, send this to them. If you know any political people in Greece, be sure to send this to them, because until Greece gets steps out from under the thumb of Zog and the NATO EU Borg, they're never going to ascend in any way. Anything else here? Yep, got it. Yeah, and here, of course, regarding the Sarah Stock drama that I was reticent to talk about, I said, would this be a bad time to show my appearance on Sarah Stock's channel? And I went on Sarah Stock's channel and talked about what I usually talk about. So sue me, right? Not like I was. Look, I didn't do anything with her while she was engaged, so I don't have anything. People, look, what do you got? People in the comments, dog, you got to scrub that shit off the internet. Okay, person with 36 anonymous person with 36 followers. What? But yeah, I thought that was funny. I probably could show our Elijah Schaefer's appearance a few months ago on this channel, but don't necessarily want to be tempting fate with that one. But the moment we've all been waiting for, of course, drum roll, please. My favorite release, leak, file, email, text. It's actually a text exchange from the Epstein files. Again, drum roll, please. It's this one right here. I guess the Sultan being referenced here is the Sultan of Oman, or this says it's an Emirati Sultan, Ahmed bin Solayam. Others have said it was the Sultan of Brunei, but I think this makes more sense, actually. The UAE stuff, because Epstein was close with UAE individuals, and this is Epstein in the orange here. He says, Sultan wants to replace bionic dick with new Swiss version, wants different surgeon. Hairy fish, some Jew, you're joking, I hope. Epstein replies, nope, Goyim. And at a certain level, I have to agree, these rich Goyim are asking for bionic dicks, and they need the new Swiss version now. I mean, the Goyim have gone insane. I'm sorry. But yeah, someone's asking me, who is Sarah? Honestly, it's for the best that you don't know. She's a Catholic e-girl going through some drama right now. So honestly, just keep her in your prayers. That's probably the best. I'm surprised she hasn't deactivated her Twitter account yet. But yeah, she worked for Elijah Schaefer. Elijah Schaefer's going through it right now. Adultery, alcohol, drugs. It's no good. It's no good, folks. You gotta stay on the straight and narrow. Yeah, he said, I'm ashamed to admit the bionic dick is now in my search history. Same, dude. I saw all sorts of disgusting garbage I just searched bionic dick, assuming there'd be all sorts of discourse around this. And I can't hit back. If I hit back on that, you're going to see a bunch of it's like a bunch of troon surgeries and like neopenis stuff being when they make a woman and try to make a woman into a man, they take like a huge chunk of skin off of the thigh and construct this weird neo balloon animal type penis thing. I was getting a bunch of that instead of what I was looking for, which was discourse about the Sultan of Dubai's bionic penis. But those are the sacrifices we take for this job, right? Everyone has parts of their job that they don't like, and I sometimes have to look at Troon axe wound. And I mean, what did Nightmare Vision say? He said, okay, hold on. Let me. I don't want people to see anything that comes up if I search this. They're censoring it. I don't know, something about a hulking neo penis. Oh, I wouldn't say it's a slow news day, but we are waiting on strikes from Iran. Follow me on X as well, by the way, if you haven't already gone there. Totally shadow banned, but follow me anyway. I got to be more active, really. I just don't tweet. They need you to tweet like 5 times a day, or else they just like take you out of the algorithm. And I just can't slot post like some people can. So check it out. Follow me. Greatly appreciated, of course. Let's check Telegram, see what else we got. Got Rana right here. It says the next round of U.S.-Iran nuclear negotiations is expected to take place in Oman on Friday, according to Axios. The Trump administration agreed to Tehran's request to move the talks from Turkey, while discussions continue over whether Arab and Muslim countries from the region will attend. You know, Friday, they're really pushing this one back. And again, Iran, they've said that they will not negotiate under threats, but even though they get some minor concessions like getting the aircraft carrier to pull back, or having these drones, or getting them to move the place of the negotiations, they're still negotiating under these threats. Like there's no actual reduction of the threat. They're not actually reducing the buildup. They're not actually retracting the statements. They're not actually, sorry, just searching something. They're not actually, really moving anything, but they, nonetheless, they realize that they would rather not get struck, because it doesn't matter. Even if they think there's an outside chance they could win, they certainly don't want to, strike the, they don't want to face the strikes from Iran, strikes from America, obviously. Paisios $2 asks, thoughts on Putin and the Epstein files? Hey, we got Cleaved Antiquity in chat. Great to see you, man. Excited for our stream. Appreciate all shares on this stream, obviously, but good to see Ben from Cleaved Antiquity in the chat. Glad to see everybody. We got Anthony Westgate in chat. So truly Goyim in abundance. It's been I don't think since we had Archbishop George of Australia in chat have we had this much of an abundance of Goyim in the World War Live chat. So it's great to see everybody here. But like I said, we got $2 from Paisios. Thoughts on Putin and the Epstein files? And I didn't see too much talk about it. I did see a few of these tweets here. From Donbass Devishka. She says Epstein was in efforts to overthrow Putin with Bill Gates and the LGBT movement. The Epstein files reveal Bill Gates' chief science advisor was coordinating with Epstein on Russian regime change operations starting in January 2012. And if you believe this, it would make a lot of sense considering what they were saying with Rothschild about Ukraine. We also have this here from Brian McDonald. An email in the Epstein files mentioned someone suggesting he read Alexander Dugin routinely and lazily described as a Putin advisor, which is not true. Which is true. Dugin is not really a Putin advisor. He says, have you ever heard of Alexander Dugin, one of Putin's advisors? If not, reading about him and his views might be interesting, perhaps quite useful. Interesting. I don't know who this is from, though, so that was someone just saying that to Jeffrey Epstein. Obviously, Putin is an object of discussion. Putin, yeah, it's all mostly just... obviously, I haven't gone through the entire files myself. There's millions and millions of this, that, and the other. Ben asked, you doing a chill stream, and do you have an agenda? Well, it's usually just the weekly stream, man. It's just World War Live. It's every week, Tuesday evening, 7:45 p.m. Central. We get on. I give updates about the Third World War. We read what's going on the timeline, and then, probably 10, 15 minutes, we're going to play some ethno guests. That's how things go. So if you ever want to come on, last week we had David Erhan on, so feel free to. I've always wanted to have people on, especially that are available 7:45 p.m. Tuesday evenings. But it's always a chill stream. But there's also always a bit of an agenda. But yeah, $5 from Jonathan Kelly, super donor. Hello, my fellow Goy. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, Gentile, my Gentile. So, you can call us Goy. You can call us Goys, but we can only say Goyim. You can call us Goy, whatever the best N-word equivalent is here. But the Ben saying want to have me up. I don't have any plans. I mean, I guess I could send the StreamYard link, but usually these are like an hour 20-minute streams. We could play some Ethno Guesser. If you send me a message on X, we could do it. But I was going through the Putin Epstein connection here, where like Paisios asked for, and it seems to me that if there was a bunch of things about Putin participating in Epstein-like crimes, we would have already seen those posted all over the timeline. It's already about the no, dude, let's schedule it for next week, and let's just plan an actual stream at this time. That would be even better. So send me a message, and we can do something, because I'm going on your channel soon too. So just let me know. But no, I have no idea. If you want to come up, I have no problem. It's just I haven't eaten dinner, so it's not like I can extend the stream any longer than it already was going to be. But of course, thanks to everyone. I need to check the Substack chat as well. Actually, I haven't seen what's going on in there. Let's check. All right. Well, that's messed up. No hard M's. $4.99 from Stephen Sterling. Thank you, brother. It's true. It's true. They can't be calling us the hard M. But no, Ben, like I'm even, if you want to play some Ethno Guesser, feel free. I can send it to you. But I don't know. You might, if you're not good at the game, it might be stressful coming out swinging this hard live. But I got no problem bringing you on. It would be, I'm casual and chill like that. I can send him the StreamYard, but doesn't seem to be. Oh, we got something else here from. He says, Cleaved Antiquity King hosted a debate between Rasputin Archive and Alex and Michael Davison for Rasputin is a Saint. Would be a good debate, and I think Cleaved Antiquity would be a decent place to host it, but who knows? I would be surprised if Davis agreed. I mean, you read the article refuting his article that Alex put out, and it's pretty cut and dry. I don't think there's any way to come back from that, but I guess we'll see. Sorry, I'm distracted by the chat. So much easier to stream with 2 people on anyway. But right when we hit about 40 minutes or so, we're going to hop on over, play some Ethno Guesser. Again, reminder to everybody watching, you can support the show at the World War Now Buy Me a Coffee right here, buymeacoffee.com/World War Now. Super easy, no complications there. Obviously, also subscribe at worldwarnow.co. That's our home base, the center of our operations here. Great to see everybody in the chat, obviously. And if you aren't already on the Substack, what are you even doing? You're not a real World War Now patriot. And I'm literally sending it in the chat once again for people that haven't already made it over there. But I'm sure at this point most people definitely have. But I did send Cleve the link. If he wants to join, he can. But we're reaching the later stage here. Oh yeah, this is true. Anthony says NASA is making preparations for the diversity hire moon mission with Artemis 2. This calls for a Spake is Fake and Gay Part 2. I agree, and I know they're trying to go back to the moon. I think in the next, it might even be this week or something like that. There's like a lunar flyby where I guess we're going to be able to see it in front of the moon. So I got to get back to reading the esoteric cosmology texts in that case, because it is true. We do need Space is Fake part 2. That's one of our, if you haven't watched that, I mean, definitely check that out. I mean, whoops, I meant to search that in YouTube. Of course, it doesn't immediately pop up because it only has a few thousand views. It's also, I think, just like being censored at this point. But if you go to Anthony's YouTube channel and search and find Space is Fake, you can find our incredible discussion about it, as well as it has videos, and like everything we talk about is on the screen video wise. So really incredible video there, Anthony. If you want to maybe drop the link to that in the chat. But $5 more from E-War Mapping says, you think Erdogan's fall will coincide with the new Iran attack? The prophecy said it could be around the time of the last attack, not much longer. It could easily happen. I could definitely see that happening. But I do think Erdogan here in the next 2-3 years, it's probably gonna wind down for him. And again, as we discussed on my stream with David Erhan, if Iran does fall, Israel is going to immediately laser focus in on Turkey. They're going to explicitly try to get a Kemalist, somebody that has no interest in going after Israel, but is still very much interested in turning against Russia and even Greece, but still allying with the EU and NATO. They're going to try to get somebody like that in power, and that's going to be what precipitates a lot of the prophesied events. So that could be what it is. Potentially Erdogan helps Iran stay in power, and then he falls because of that. I mean, again, the Kurd thing is a big part of this, both in Iran and in Turkey. So Iran and Turkey are linked by that. So we're going to be watching all of that extremely, extremely closely, obviously. But again, Erdogan, be sure, if you haven't already watched it, you got to watch the stream with David if you want to understand the Erdogan situation, because we go into a whole lot of detail. But it's been almost 45 minutes live streaming here. We got to play some ethno guesser. You already know what it is. False Dino says Space is Fake was such a bang. Fake One was such a banger. So true. One of the biggest bangers that we've done. Actually, I still want to find it. It's because I'm searching the reversion, not Anthony Westgate. But yeah, Space is Fake right here. So check this one out. Space is Fake, re-upload, 6K views here. We're making it out the mainstream cosmological hour with this one of our finest hours. Can't be overstated. Some really, really good stuff. But there's a more important task at hand, and that is the ethno guessers. So hope you're all ready. Hope you're all phenotypically locked in. Hope you all know what is going on, and you're ready to identify some folks. But let's do it. Daily game. Boom. Oh. These got to be like, these could be like maybe Madagascar. It's going to be like here, or like in here, I feel. But this one's kind of tough. Yeah, Papua could make sense, but like the woman looks like African, the guy looks like Indian or, something else. Yeah, I'm thinking Papuans. Father James, he says that one of the greatest episodes from Conrad and Anthony. Space is Fake Part 2 would be awesome. Seychelles, interesting proposal. The Malaysia. Yeah, maybe, over here or something. Yeah, I don't think that's Mexican. South Philippines. That could be the way to do it. Jonathan Kelly, $20 from the Alex Soros Young Journalist Fund for Excellence in Diversity Studies. We are studying diversity as we speak. Thank you, brother. Your funds will go to research to help quirked up white boys identify Polynesian and Papuan phenotypes faster. So your money's in good hands. But I'm just locking this one in. Boom. Oh, I kind of missed, but these are Tolids, the easternmost vetted. I feel like they could have given me more than, come on. I guess North Philippines, but that's, I deserve it better. That's more like a 4,000. Come on. Good evening, Paisios. Thanks for joining the chat. All right. Not the best score to start out with, but even though it was very close in region here, I guess I should have gone with Malaysia, like somebody said, but the South Philippines kind of sold me, but very close. I was really in the right region here. So next round. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. This is Indochina. I think I even got these people last round, now that I think about it. I think it's like, yeah. Senoids, native to the forests of Southeast Asia, jungle Asians. We get them every time. We don't miss the jungle Asians. Next round, baby. Oh, this is one we wish we had David on. This is some of this garbage right here, all mucked up on the big world island. Any ideas, anybody? What are we thinking here? Because I'm not stumped, but you know, these ones make me nervous. These ones make me nervous for sure. Caucasus, yeah. I could see Caucasus or Russian Caucasus maybe, or out here. Something Stan. What are people thinking? Uzbekistan, or I don't know. I almost feel like it could be like one of these ones that's like all around here. Let's do it. Anyone else? What do we see? Kazakhstan. I don't know. They don't look Asian. I mean, they could be part Russian in Kazakhstan, but I don't know. Someone says not Caucasian. I mean, this could be all the way over here, and like I'm almost thinking like Black Sea, like Bulgaria or something. Yeah, he definitely looks like he could be in the UFC, but I'm kind of sort of getting Bulgarian energy as well. I could see maybe Finnish. I could see that. I don't know why the guy looks Bulgarian to me. Or maybe Hungarian. But I'm going to lock this one in. Okay. They are Hungarian. Yeah. So Finnish would make sense. But I still got a decent enough score. Alfold. Western Turanid subtype, named after the Alfold, the Great Hungarian Plain, developed when Huns and Magyars entered the area during the early Middle Ages and caused a blending of several regional types, most common in Hungary, especially the Alfold Plain and Transdanubia. In lower frequencies, it extends across the Balkans into Ukraine, even northern Greece. So I was right, even though this doesn't show northern Greece at all. It's true, the Finnish, so it would make sense that these look like Finns, but different type of Magyar, I believe, in some capacity, more Hun. But that was a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one. Let's move on to the next round here. 4 out of 10. Oh, these ones messed me up. Are these got to be like South Americans, right? We got some South American homies in chat that can identify. It's wait for the chat to catch up here a little bit. Yeah, these are South Americans, but are they like Brazil Amazonians? Are these like Bolivians? Olmecs. Where are the Olmecs? Are these like Central Americans? You know, could these be in like Panama, like the Darien Gap or something? Yeah, they do kind of look like Amazonians. So maybe like here. Eastern Bolivia. I kind of see southern Venezuela down here or something as well, but South Amazonids. We got them. The most dynamic Amazonid variety emerged in northern savannas and spread across Brazil to Paraguay and Argentina, pushing back older lagids, common among Tupian speakers, e.g. Apica, Awaguaja, blah, 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 and the extinct Tupi and Kurandi. Although tribal members collapsed since European contact, still important in Brazilian/Paraguayan mestizos. So we got it. Good score, everybody. Good locking in on this Latinx stuff here. Oh, this guy looks like Tiger Woods. We got Blasians in here. Where does Tiger Woods live? He lives in like Florida, right? No, he's got to be like... No. Zoom out. This got to be like something over here. Yeah, it's got to be like some Malaysian or maybe like continental Malaysian or something. Maybe like over here. The guy do be looking like Tiger Woods, though. Because Tiger Woods is half Thai. So, Tiger Woods. I guess that makes sense. It's Tiger, and then the woods is for backwoods for black people. But, yeah, I think Malaysia is where we got to go here. Boom. Perfect. Right where we want them. These are Deutero-Malayids, the insular counterpart of Shanids. Several components gave rise to this type in mainland Asia. Proto-Malayid and Proto-Sinid consumed other elements when they migrated south. Over the past millennia, the type dispersed across a vast area from Madagascar to the Easter Island. Oh, so I could have guessed Madagascar, or even here, or wherever like Easter Island is somewhere. So not too hard to guess, but we got him. I still think it's funny. It looks like Tiger Woods. Oh, yeah. This is some real abo hours right now, everybody. Real abo hours. The question is, see, these are not the extinct Tasmanian abo subtype. I can confirm that. And because though they look more like that, I'm assuming that these abos are going to be like down here, around here, as opposed to the more Papuan looking abos that are like up here, you know, and they're more connected with this stuff. So I'm sort of going, you know, this is, you know, early Australians in the outback encountering these people. I think this is going to work. Okay. I should have just gone more in the middle of Australia, but these are obviously desert Australids. Australid desert variety adapted to the arid interior of Australia has furnished the general public idea of the typical Australian aborigine. Basically a north-south Australid blend with a variety of exaggerated features. Typical tribes includes the something, the Pintupi, and the something. The desert people have had contact with European colonizers only since the 20th century, thus the type is still relatively common. And these people have like 50 IQs, so God bless them. Yeah, fascinating noses. Pretty easy to snag, although I guess I should have gone more into the outback, mon. That's Jamaican, but into the outback, mon. All right, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Oh, these niggas got to be from over here. Some like Maasai, I don't even know. They're definitely, it's here somewhere. This is like the dark zone. You got to be careful. And these can't be too east because these guys aren't. These are not Somalians. These are not Somalians or whatnot. So I think the South Sudan Uganda border or South Sudan Congo border is probably a good guess. Yeah, I think that's you're right. Rasputin Archives do look Cushitic, so we're gonna lock this one in here. Hopefully we're good. Boom. Exactly correct. See, if you went too far west, you start getting the bulb heads, more Nilotic. You know, the more regal looking Ethiopian that then turns into the bulbous Somali. These are just straight purple looking Africans. So yeah, good round team. Let's remember those. All right, I got 3 more rounds. Getting close to an hour here. Dincades, niloted proper that shows the most pronounced nilotic features, the tallest, most long-legged, and one of the darkest phenotypes in the world. Yeah, these are like the guys that they win like long distance runs and stuff like that. They can run for like a bajillion years. All right, 8 out of 10. Oh, these ones are tough, man. These ones are tough. Because you had people that almost looked like this that were in like Afghanistan. I don't think these are not Afghanistan or anything like that. I don't think, but I think this is like some Caucasian, some Turk or something, or maybe North African. I don't really know, but it's. I think I've gotten this one before. I think these ones have boned us before. You're right, but I think I remember it being farther west than we would have liked to admit. Yeah, I see what you're saying, that she looks a little French. Oh, no, I think I remember. I think Smees remembers. No! No. I thought this extended down. We've gotten this one before. Damn it. Baskids. Ancient European type associated with the Basques, found in its purest form in the Pyrenees Atlantiques region of southwestern France. While the many modern French Basques are West Alpinid, also present in northern Spain, where it is rather mixed with Mediterranean. I thought it was some Algerian thing with France, but whoever, the French thing was correct, and I agreed. I just should have. They just don't look white enough, they've got the down negative canthal tilt. They've got a more oriental look to them. But man, they made it all the way up here. I feel like this could have extended down, but we still got, what do we still get? We still got over 2,500, so greater than 50%. But let's lock this in, guys. We got to lock this. Basque people. French looking, Arab looking people. All right, next round. All right, more Asians. This guy looks like an Asian cop, like in America. I don't know. This one's kind of duping me. I think these could be these could be farther west, but I could see that. I don't know. We need. Where's Alan? Where are the other Asians in chat? We're losing our Asian people. Yeah, these look more like could be Turkics. This guy does actually look like some Russian taxi drivers I saw. People are saying Manchurian. I don't think so. We had the Manchurians last time, and it was not like this, I don't think. I could see it being some of this. For sure. Where Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, all these things sort of overlap. Any final strong opinions before I lock this in? As David said, Turkish people talk about, it's like, oh, and then, in the year 500, it's like, man, in the year 500, the Turks were too busy being in the Central Asia and the Red Apple being entranced with Chinese women, and that's why they look like this. So, all right, locking this in. That's why we do it, baby. Pretty wide range. Dang, you could have gotten a 5K. Yes, Hungarians really are Asians. It's pretty keck. Solid 5,000. Plains Pamarid, the most widespread Pamarid variety, typical for the steppes and lowlands from Uzbekistan to Xinjiang and the Fergana Valley. Somewhat influenced by auralids, formed by contact of Turanids and Tungid-influenced groups. Became widely dispersed by nomads, most common in Uzbeks and Uyghurs, sometimes Tajiks, Kazakh, Afghans, Chinese, Anatolians, and even Hungarians. So glad we got that one in there. Yeah, look, I mean, this is where like 6 countries like lock in, so you can put it there and you get a few different types probably. All right. Now this is just thank you, come again. Do not redeem. Do not redeem. That's what's happening right now. But where? I feel like this sort of reminds me of last time where we got right here and it was correct. But I don't know. Let's get 4 or 5. If people have different opinions, let's get 3 or 4 different regions in chat that we can weigh, and then we'll really weigh the positives and the negatives. Nothing new on Telegram. Cleve never got back to me about joining the stream, even though I sent him the link. But that's all right. Not the longest stream this evening. We went over some Epstein stuff. Had a good time. Someone says East India. Okay. I think I remember that from last time working. Any other thoughts? Any other opinions? Not South Indians. Look, they all look, they all kind of look the same in a lot of ways, so it misgives me up. Yeah, I do feel like we kind of got screwed, and these could be the Southern Indians again. Stupid ad. No, stop showing me the ads for this gay hockey movie about hockey players having gay sex. We're not doing that. Yeah, Kashmir is. I'm really thinking like here. Yeah, we're just locking it in. Ah. Chadai. Sorry, gotta letting out my Indian curse words. Can't win them all, folks. These are Bengaluru, Karnataka. Lock it in. We can't get this wrong next time. How'd I do? Top 8%. I did better than last time somehow, even though I don't think I feel like I did as well. But top 8%. Not bad, gang. Not bad. Not bad at all. Going to stay on for a few more minutes. Any final super chats? Feel free to send anything in if you want me to talk about it. Thankfully, no super chats about the e-drama. I'm honestly extremely grateful about that because I just really don't actually care. But I guess I'm getting some more clout on that Sarah Stock post just because of the relevance. But adultery is bad. Do not commit it. Can't say that enough. $5 from Jonathan Kelly. When are we having an ether hour on the biblical origin of the races? When I read a good book about that, or when I find a priest or a monk or someone that is willing to talk about that, potentially anonymously, because as far as I'm aware, the only people talking about this online are me and Dimitri and Corey Mahler. And Corey Mahler he's not the company that I necessarily want to keep because he thinks he wants to kill me for being Orthodox, which look, I respect it to a certain degree, but yeah, it doesn't mean I'm not going to respond as someone who as anyone would respond to someone who wants to kill them. So that is that. But good round of ethno guesser, everybody. Average of 3,900, almost an average of 4,000. Actually, pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good, if I do say so myself. But not sure why that's giving me grief. Be sure to check out worldwarnow.co if you have not already. Get behind the paywall. Help us out. Right here. Watch the latest World War Now episode. Get ready for the upcoming episode with Matthew Raphael Johnson on Ether Hour. Be sure to check out the recent stream with David Erhan. Some really great stuff in there, as well as one of the more fun games of Ethno Guesser. So, yes, thank you again to all of our super chatters as well. Of course, Jonathan Kelly, Paisios, Stephen Sterling, E-War Mapping. You guys are the ones that keep the lights on here at the proverbial World War Now bunker. So thank you all so much for supporting. Please share the stream if you can. I'm not seeing any more immediate super chats, but reiterating the shilling, go to the World War Now Buy Me a Coffee at worldwarnow.com/buy me a coffee. Going to send the link again. That is one of the best ways to support the show. If you want to continue supporting on top of the super chats, of course. So thank you all so much. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. We want to keep growing the YouTube channel in spite of shadow banning. Be sure to follow me on X, on Twitter as well. Follow Telegram at World War Now Telly. Be sure to follow the World War Now X account at World War Now _. And if you aren't already in the World War Now Discord, what are you doing? I'm in there every day. I'm going to be starting to send voice memos into the subscriber-only channels. So get behind the paywall on Substack, worldwarnow.co. Once again, I cannot reiterate it enough. You will also get access to basically a whole new show that I'm kind of going to be doing in short voice memos on the World War Now Discord server. So get in there. I'm going to try to send a voice memo every day here discussing my thoughts on the news and everything exclusively, like I said, for paid subscribers. So please support the show. Keep the lights on here at the bunker. I've heard of many people, more and more people every day on X and elsewhere saying that the show has helped bring them to the Orthodox faith. So that is what this is by far all about. That's more important than the money. It's more important than anything else, but we can't keep doing this without your support. So again, thank you all so much for tuning in, for super chatting, for sharing, for liking, for everything. And with all of that, I will see you on the other side. God bless.